Manx Radio's Countryside is brought to you by NFU Mutual.
Hello and welcome to this week's Countryside programme here on Manx Radio. I'm Simon Clark.
And I'm Kirree. On Saturday, I went along to the Welcome Centre at the Sea Terminal to see the sale of the Young Farmers concert tickets go ahead.
I spoke to some of the prize winners at the Ramsey and Onken District Fur and Feather Society show in Andreas. And I also got a chat with Keith Kirree, who was the guest speaker at last week's 90th Young Farmers Anniversary dinner. But we'll start with always an exciting time. Not the Young Farmers concert, but the run up to it when the tickets go on sale. You were there, Kirree.
Indeed I was. I caught up with some of the people in the queue waiting to get their tickets and the reasoning for why they were there, and also some of the members of the Federation of Young Farmers. But first I speak to Emma Farragher, Nikki and Trelja Norris at the front of the queue. So we've just arrived here at the Sea Terminal ahead of the tickets being released for the Young Farmers concert. Now at the very, very front of the queue is a little person in a onesie. Trelja, how long have you been here?
Since 7:55 last night.
7:55 last night. You are unbelievable. But why? Why are you queuing for Young Farmers tickets?
It's just a good community and it's a good concert to watch. Happens every year. I'm either in it or I watch it, no matter what.
Brilliant. And you're here with Emma Farragher. And now, Emma, you're normally on the stage. So why are you buying tickets this year?
Ask Trelja.
So is this something you've done every year?
No, this is my first year.
Next year as well?
We'll see.
So what tickets are you after, Trelja?
Saturday night.
Yeah, it's the main night, isn't it? It really is something else. And you, Nikki, you've been coming here for a number of years now. You're literally sitting on a chair looking very civilised, like you've not been awake all night.
Someone's got to.
But it's obviously special to you to join the queue, to be this early up in the queue as well.
It's the fact that, like, when you get here, everyone's like really friendly and you get to meet everyone. You see them once a year most of the time, so you can have a good catch up with everybody. And it's like Trelja's now taking over from Mum coming up, so it's like a new generation.
Well, James, you're here. The actual sun is starting to come up. You've been here all night, I imagine.
Yeah, it was 11:15, I think it was. Just finished watching the Six Nations, so I thought rather than falling asleep on the sofa, I'll fall asleep in the van.
And you obviously watch it yourself then?
Yeah, I go and watch. Mum tried to get me in one year to join, and I said no. I said I'm not dancing around on stage in front of numerous people, so I said I'll just support and go and watch. And like say, we go Saturday night every time we go.
And it is a late night, isn't it? Once they got finished the judging and everything else.
Yeah, and credit to all the judges because they put on shows every night, and they're a tough decision to make.
Oh yeah.
From sitting in the crowd, so yeah, credit to them all.
Well, you've been up out your seat now. It's time to go to the door. Catherine Jakes, how many years have you been coming to this?
Oh my God, too many to remember. Oh, there must be about 15.
Wow. And
Yeah.
why though?
It's all good fun.
Yeah.
And when you're joining the queue, you're meeting so many people, and then you're dragging your friends along to come with you.
So what time have you been sat here since?
3 o'clock.
Well, anyway, I better let you go. The lights are on in the Welcome Centre.
Thank you
Good
very
luck.
much, and to you.
Well, Finlay MacLeod, I've never seen you dressed quite like this before, but obviously it's all in association with the Young Farmers and Isle of Man Creameries.
Well, I just thought it was the least we could do is come and see the people who are who've been queuing all night to get their tickets for the Young Farmer show. And we're delighted to be associated with the show. Very, very much part of the community that we support and very much part of. It's a fantastic show, and I would say, if you can get yourself tickets, you'll have a great night at any of the nights that it's on.
But that said, getting tickets, it is so difficult, and these people have been queuing through the night.
I believe that the first people arrived at about 11 o'clock last night. So they're brave, they're committed, and they will have an absolutely great night for their efforts.
They really will, but you look like you're dressed to actually go on the stage. This is a really, really wonderful cow costume.
Thank you very much. It's and I keep on saying it. It's been a very orderly queue.
People will have never seen this side of you before, Finlay, and it's great that you're getting into the spirit of the young farmers.
Well, you can't not get into the spirit of the young farmers. The enthusiasm from the young people that are involved with the young farmers is just incredible. It's infectious, and we are very, very happy to be supporting the show this year for the first time. And if there's anything else that we can do to help the show be a success, then we're very happy to do it.
Well, Emily Kelly, it's that time of year again. The Welcome Centre is chocker. The doors are nearly open. We're a couple of minutes away from the tickets going on sale for 2024. How are you feeling as chairman of the Young Farmers?
It was just really proud, really. We've had a lot of our members here since 4 o'clock this morning, serving teas and coffees, for them loyal supporters that come down year on year. To queue for the tickets, I think a lot of members here sort of panic and going, concert's only a few weeks away and tickets, people worried about putting, shows and sketches and dances and stuff together, but, as they always say, it all comes together in the end. So, just really looking forward to it. And then doors, everybody's waiting for them to open. It
is absolutely a great sight, and it's lovely to have Connie from Isle of Man Creameries here this year. She's just looking the part, isn't she?
Absolutely. I think put a couple of tags in and she'll be ready to go out into the field later.
Well, Brian and Neil, you have the hard job of wrangling the troops and getting all of this broadcast and advertised all over the Young Farmers social media channels and gathering us all together here today. How are you feeling?
I can't believe it's this time of year already, really. I think I'm a bit overwhelmed with how fast time has gone, but no, it's really good. Obviously couldn't do it without our little federation team and the wider members on the committee. So yeah, it's been really good. We've had a good morning, haven't we?
Absolutely.
Despite the wet rain, there's been so many people. I think our first, well, you've probably spoken to them already, around 9 o'clock or something last night, half 8. We were at our public speaking competition. They were sending pictures in their cars outside the sea terminal. So it's always it's still shocking that people, go out of their way to do that. So we're very grateful for the support every year. And there's so many faces here. The queue is all the way down past the baggage carousel. So yeah,
it's brilliant.
It
really is. And like you say, the sketches are underway. Some of these concerts will be already written, Emily.
Absolutely. I mean, I have to say I've not been too involved myself this year, obviously doing more, with Bryony and the Federation committee to get things sorted. A lot of the background, obviously with Conister, continued support, and Isle of Man Creamery joined us this year, which was great to have them on board. So I'm sure they'll be getting a bit of stick or two in people's sketches.
Yeah. Oh, well, there we go. The doors are unlocked. 1 minute to go. Well, anyway, I better get out of the way and let the hordes go forward. Bryony, are you after tickets yourself?
I have got my bulk load. We are fortunate to get them in advance for all of our programme advertisers, our judges, our life members, lots of important people that we save tickets for beforehand. Obviously, everyone's super keen. They're racing into the Welcome Centre now.
What a sight. This is absolutely brilliant.
It is great, isn't it? But no, we're all super excited. All the clubs, are really getting on with their rehearsals now. It's just after Christmas it goes so quickly, so the fact that the concert is a little bit earlier this year on the 7th, 8th and 9th of March, it's like a race to get everything done, but it all, pays off the end. Some clubs are, oh my gosh, we haven't really got much, and then some clubs are way ahead of themselves, so, it'll all be all right on the night.
It's hard to believe, the sewing machines will be out already, getting some of those dancing costumes. How do they come up with the ideas every year? Because they are just truly wonderful.
Yeah, it's... I don't know, it's a mystery, isn't it? The creative minds in the agricultural sector, you will be very surprised. There's lots of them, yeah.
Lots of ideas come around, mainly cups of tea around kitchen table or a pint or two in the pub. They're usually the best ones. Or when you're out in the yard feeding up stock or sweeping the yard and you have that little light bulb moment. I think that's where some of my best ideas have come down. Yeah,
absolutely. I think a lot of the ideas do come from the tables in the pubs, don't they? But it helps, and it's all good entertainment. As you can see, we've got lots of people here, so doing something right, hopefully.
And is it still okay for young people to get involved now, or is it too late for this year?
No, absolutely. I mean, if anyone's keen to get involved, I'm sure there'll be something that they can do with one of the clubs, whichever one they want to go for. But there's obviously so much else happening this year. The concert is our biggest and most favourite event, but we've got lots of other things going on. We'll hopefully be hosting a big national Young Farmers event in June, which will have many members from the UK coming over, so that'll be brilliant. We'll hopefully have another fundraiser in November, and that's just a few things with everything else we've got going on. All our usual public speaking competitions, Stubbs quiz later on this month, We had public speaking last night, so yeah, it's all go. And then most clubs are doing 2 concert practices a week at the moment, so it's busy.
Spinning a lot of
Yeah,
plates.
yeah.
Well, you mentioned charity there. Emily, Young Farmers is one of those organisations that gives an awful lot back to charity.
Absolutely. I mean, you'll see what we've done with the tractor run, the last sort of 5-6 years, over £50,000. Again, even over the concert nights, we do bucket collections throughout the years. A lot of charities have benefited from Young Farmers, putting our bit back into the community. And, we've established quite a good reputation with charities and built relationships with them over the years. So it's just nice to be able to help.
And do you have any idea who this year's concert charities are going to be?
That one is up to the Vice Chairman, Michael Deal, so I'm sure he'll reveal that shortly before the concert. So I think he's just having a last-minute sort of think on, who'll be benefiting from that.
Yeah, we will know next week when we've got a federation meeting. So he's got a few ideas, and we'll announce it next week, hopefully.
Well, anyway, good luck this morning. Obviously, you don't need any more people in this welcome centre. It is jammed to the gunnels, but this will be open all day as we go.
Yeah, all day. The Villa Marina desk opens at 10 o'clock, and then the online and telephone sales are at 10:30 a.m. So if you can't get down, get online.
There we go. That was Emily Kelly, the chairperson of the Federation of Young Farmers, along with the secretary, Bryony Neal, and some of the people in the queue anticipating their best seats in the house was James Smith, Kathy Jakes, and firstly it was Emma Farragut and Nikki and Trelja Norris.
I don't know. It's like it got into a tradition thing now, hasn't it?
It really has. You can get them online, but they don't want to give up on that tradition of going down there in the evening, keeping their flasks of soup with them, having a natter. And some people catch up with each other just that day, annual catch up. And it was great to see the Young Farmers putting on a hot cup of tea and some toast at 4 o'clock in the morning, Simon. Can you believe it?
No, not really. I was thinking of them.
Oh, I bet you were.
After I got up. Well, on Sunday, it was the annual Ramsey and Onken Fur and Feather Society's show, which was held in the parish hall in Andreas. I popped along to chat to a couple of the prize winners on the day, Ruth Meade with her gander, but first of all, the winner of the best cage bird in the show, the Guldian Finch, and I chatted to John Keenan from Ballaugh. First of all, take some looking after?
Lots of hours, all weekend, Simon, all weekend.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. You don't know what you're going to breed, and you don't know what's going to turn out, do you? Yeah.
I mean, the colours. I mean, the youngsters come and stand and stare at them and are amazed by how vibrant the colours are. I mean, when they breed, do they always? Can you predict what colours they're going to be?
No, those Gouldians will take 9 months to colour up.
Really?
Yeah, 9 months. But the others, you can colour feed the canaries, the red ones, they're colour fed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's the Gouldians is the hard ones to tell. They'll stay grey for a long, long time. Yeah.
And what about feed? Is there special feed you have to use for them?
Well, there's Gouldian, there's Finch, there's Canary, there's Budgie, there's Parakeet. all different feeds.
They don't eat the same thing?
No, they don't eat the same thing. No.
That must be a bit of a troublesome time with all the bags.
No, I buy it by the pallet, son.
How many have you got birds, John? Roughly.
A couple hundred, I'd say.
Really?
Yeah. You'll have to come and have a look, Simon.
I will do. And what? It must be satisfying to see the people standing at the cages, though, admiring them and
it is.
Enjoying your work.
It is. Well, I did this display at the show as well, like the Royal Show, and that really goes down well. The people it's unbelievable. The people that come and have a look at them, like, So, even at weekends at the house, people just come to have a look.
Really?
Yeah. And it is interesting, like. Well, I got that many different birds as well. So.
How many years have you been at this now?
Hell, about 27, 28 years now.
Really?
Yeah.
And enjoying and enthusiasm still there, John?
Oh, 100%, Simon. 100%.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. It kind of gets the grip of you.
Well, Ruth Meade, you come away with one of the big prizes today.
I know, my best gander, Solstice, so anyone that's been up to the farm will have met Solstice, who we're besotted with each other, to be honest, and he's come away with best waterfowl today, so I'm absolutely made up. I always thought he was nice, but it's nice to have someone else believe in him too.
But it's I've always sort of took geese and ganders as usually all white, but there's different colouring on this one.
Yeah, so he's a dewlap Toulouse. It's a French breed, and they're enormous geese, and they are used traditionally for the foie gras in France. Obviously, we would never do anything like that. These are purely grass raised. They graze all day. A lot of people don't realise geese are actually grazing animals. So they just spend their day wandering around the farm grazing.
But they're very wonderful. I remember them on our farm. They're wonderful guards as well, aren't they?
They are. I mean, Solstice, he absolutely adores me at this time of year. However, Stuart has to be extremely careful because he will hunt Stuart down and go in for a big bite at every opportunity.
Really?
Oh, yeah. So.
Yeah. But I mean, how long have you had these geese?
These geese are 4. So they're called Summer and Solstice, the 2 geese we've brought today. They hatched on the summer solstice, so it's easy to remember. But we've had geese for almost 7 years now. I didn't really want geese, so I bought Stuart a pair of geese for his 46th birthday, not realising they can live till up to 40 years, some breeds. So,
really?
Yeah.
But I mean, do these breed as well?
Yes, so we do breed these geese. People will know that our farm, everything is productive, so we do breed a small number of geese for ourselves for Christmas. So these are the breeding pair, though, so they're quite safe. They're going to live to a ripe old age.
Well, you smile, and that's a nice prize to come away with today. Well done.
It is. Thank you very much.
Ruth Meade with her gander, which won the section there, and a very beautiful one it was, quite noisy at times too. And before that, John Keenan from Ballaugh with a wonderful array of coloured birds on show and winning the cage bird section with that Goldie and Finch. Great colours there, and the noise in them shows is absolutely tremendous, and the enthusiasm by people.
It was the exact same thing I was going to say. It's the noise, isn't it, of them all tweetling along in the background, and they all seem so happy to be there, don't they, as well? And like you say, the colours are just outstanding. But the care and attention that must go into getting them ready for that show must be off the scale.
Yeah, it is, and it's just interesting there when I thought, one bag of food might do the lot of them birds, but no, they all have their specific dietary requirements.
This is it.
The vegans amongst them.
Oh, bless. But that said, Simon, the amount of effort and attention that they go to get them picture perfect for the day, it's no different than showing cattle or showing sheep. They're just a bit smaller, aren't they? And so stunning.
Indeed. You're listening to Countryside here on Manx Radio with Kirree Kermode and myself, Simon Clark. Well, last week we spoke about the Northern Young Farmers, the oldest club on the island in the Young Farmers movement. They celebrated their 90th anniversary, and I was at the dinner, and I went along and I spoke to Keith Kirree after the event to get his thoughts and memories of his days on the Young Farmers. Well, Keith Kirree, it was great to see you at the 90th anniversary Young Farmers dinner last week. Great honour to be asked to be guest speaker.
It was indeed. It was a surprise to me when Jacob spoke to me back before Christmas and said, on the way out the door from a NFU meeting, we put you down for this job at the end of January, so that was me signed up.
But you've been a great follower and contributor and supporting the dinners for many years, Keith.
I've traced my time way back. There used to be a judging competition for parishes, so you could have a mackerel team or a derby team, whatever. And that was my first experience of the Young Farmers, probably at about 11 or 12.
Really? A lot different to what it is today?
I suppose the bottom line of who won what class still comes out the same about who was triumphant. The one that eluded me was to get the Fatstock Cup, because I only got halfway to that. I shared the cup with John Cannell Ballacannane.
Really? Yeah. And you tried your best to get that title, did you?
That would be way back in the 70s. So all of my stories are back in the 70s.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of people listening to Countryside that'll remember stories from back then in the 70s and 80s and stuff. But you say it was 11 or 12 when your first involvement with the young farmers.
Yes.
And what sort of activities it mentioned the stock and the fat stock judging and things like that? Was it very similar competitions, tug of war and things?
Yeah, it was pretty well the same. I've never really had, I've always been on the livestock side. I've never had any interest in tractors and field work really. So I've always...
Can you drive one?
Barely.
Really?
An old 35 maybe.
Yeah, but what about the horse side of it as well? Because that's been a big part of the Kirree family over the years too.
I have to say my sister Claire's really been the key figure in the horses, and we might be rounded up for occasional helpers, but it's all been Claire's initiative on all of that, and she's now down to the difficult situation of having 3 old pensioners, and the last foal was about 4 years ago, which she called a finale.
But speaking at the 90th dinner, great honour, Keith, and some great memories you managed to bring up there that I suppose surprised a lot of the younger members, but not so much the older generation.
First and foremost, my granddaughter said I was far too long-winded because the grace doesn't take long and the loyal toast doesn't take long. So she thought a 10 or 12 minute speech was a bit of a mouthful. I think I was fortunate to have learned of the origins from my father and his contemporaries that in my mind, the foundation figure, there's very few people who remember this, George Howie was a Scotsman here who impressed upon them the farming was important and all these livestock and everything about the practicalities. But he also said it was important for them to be active in public life, to keep putting farming forward, to keep farming afloat.
And I think a lot of the competitions I mean, there's fewer and they're far between nowadays. People in the Young Farmers movement that are involved in agriculture, because even when we were little, growing up on our farm, a lot of the people, friends that weren't from the agriculture, but used to always come down to the farm, and they'd love it because they never got the opportunity really. But now, just doesn't seem as much interest in it as there used to be.
Oh, I think it's a shame. It's a very good thing that the President, Steady Al, and Chairman and other people have galvanised the Northern Club, and it was in a low place a few years ago, but they've gotten it up to a strong number with 170 at the dinner. So I'm very glad that, but the actual number of practical farmers there is very limited, and the prospects for those farmers are quite limited, I think.
Did you enjoy your time in the Young Farmers, Keith? All quiet and shy and retiring back then, were you?
I reflected at this dinner on the early concerts that were held, and they were all in tiny chapel halls like Baldrine or the Douglas Old Folks, or maybe the Braddon Church Hall was a big one to go to. But you all had to sort of pack in and sweat somehow, and they were very amateur sort of affairs, but fortunately we had Pam Kinree and Anne MacDonald as our coaches, and they knocked us into shape.
I can't imagine that for 1 minute, Keith. But obviously, was it the concept similar, that taking a bit of Mickey out of MHKs and things like that, and politicians? Or just farmers?
Sadly, I think they used to be much more adept at giving the MHKs a chase, and I'd like them to see that now, really. But there aren't many farming MHKs to be chased. Tim Johnson, and so the likes of Noel Kringle and my father, before that Norman Ratcliffe, Percy Ratcliffe, they were all figures that like to have a pop at.
Yeah, and did they take it in the right spirit?
Yes, I think there was one occasion, I think, that someone went a bit too far and really pushed the limits and so one farmer vowed he'd never go again to be subject to abuse.
But great times and great memories, and it's still great. I mean, it was much appreciated. I think you being the speaker at the dinner to, give the perspective from when the young farmers, from quite a few years ago compared to how it is now.
Yes, there probably were more hands-on farmers. One of the things I'd like just to pay tribute, Roy Gelling died recently, and I was very lucky to be on a judging team with his daughter Pauline and Stuart Cameen when we went to the UK to judge shorthorns. And shorthorns are a thing of the past now that might have a revival, but it was quite a thing. We managed to win the team award, and Pauline had top marks. She was number 1 and Stuart was close behind, and I was number 3 in the team.
But they're great memories and something you never forget, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. I do miss I know people now like to go to the Royal Welsh Show and to Yorkshire and the Highland, but I think when the Royal Show of England was there, it was a big event, but it sort of went off the map. It must have just been too expensive for exhibitors, I think, to be there.
Well, he supports as many events as he can with the Northern Young Farmers, and being part of it many years ago with their family, the Kirree family. Keith Kirree there talking to me about the 90th anniversary dinner of the Northern Young Farmers and his times and memories of some of the events and how things have changed over the years, Kirree.
It is so, there's not maybe so many farmers involved with the Young Farmers movement itself now, but it's ever the healthiest, as you've seen on Saturday there at the Welcome Centre. So many of the Young Farmers members coming down to support, and the amount they do for charity now, it is maybe different from when Keith was in it in the younger days, but it's still going from strength to strength.
Yes, and you mentioned the money for charity. It is tremendous, and the support that they get from the Isle of Man public as well at these events. The concert is a big part of it, but obviously the tractor run and some of the other rowing events and the Viking longboat races that they get sponsorship for. It's great.
It really is great, and there's such a big movement of them as well. A few pence here and there soon adds up, and everybody wants to be part of it, and they enjoy it so much, and having that youth and the enthusiasm coming through as well. Even if you're not a farmer, you can still get involved with Young Farmers now.
You can indeed. All of these interviews or the programmes from past weeks are available on Manx Radio's website on the Listen Again feature, or you can download the podcasts from Manx Radio's website as well. We're back next Tuesday with more from the countryside. So until then, from me, Simon Clark.
And me, Kirree Kermode.
We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.